Welcome everyone. Welcome to Webinar Wednesday. I'm delighted that you're all able to join me today to learn about the 4 things to grow your customer base. So first of all, can I just check that you can hear me okay? Could you put your hands up if you can hear me, please? Excellent, thank you very much. And can I just ask, can you see my slides on your screen? 4 things to grow your customer base. Thank you. Okay, well look, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Simon Marshall, and I'm your local business coach and business growth specialist. I worked in the city for 30 years at a number of financial institutions, consultants and advisors. I now focus my time on helping local business owners make their business more successful and accomplish what they wish to achieve. No matter what that need may be, I believe we can all achieve a rewarding lifestyle and realize our business goals. Right, okay, so let's move on with today's webinar. Now, before we start, I'd just like you all to go through an exercise with me. Now, bear with me on this. So as I say, I'd like you to do this exercise. When I ask you to start, I'd like you to find the sequence of numbers starting with number 1, then 2, then 3, 4, and so on in consecutive order. Okay. Now, I'm only going to give you a minute to do this. And what I want you to do is strive to get to the highest number that you can. Okay. So let's get started. 1 minute starting from now. Right, okay, stop there. So just type into the chat box what number you got to. Was it 13? Thank you, Jenny. Anyone else? 14? Well done, Chanel. What other numbers did people get up to? 9? Well done, Tony. Anyone else? Okay. Well, look, just what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to explain the reason for doing this a little bit later in this webinar. Okay, so we're going to come back to this in a bit. So this rather complicated, busy slide in front of you. Okay, let me just talk you through it. What I'm going to talk to you about today is actually only a small but extremely effective part of a bigger model. Okay, so firstly, there are 4 ways to make your business more efficient and effective. Okay, and as you can see, they're on the left-hand side there. People and education, delivery and distribution, systems and technology, and testing and measuring. Okay, then there are 4 primary phases to doing a great job for a customer: sales and marketing, order fulfillment, invoicing and collection, and maintaining the relationship. That's the line in the middle. Okay, and then the next line that I've highlighted in gold on the side there are the 4 things to master delivery of your product or service. Okay, supply mastery, quality mastery, easy to buy mastery, and service mastery. Okay, and it's the last 4 that I'm going to focus on today, but I'm going to take you through the whole process so that you can see how it all fits together. So let's take a look, first of all, at the 4 ways to make your business more effective and efficient. Okay. So first, we've got those 4 areas that I mentioned before. Now, these are the strategic tactics that you can take to improve your results. Defining, refining, and implementing small improvements within these 4 categories can lead to massive results. Okay, finding a magic pill is not only a fool's errand, it often leads to more frustration. Okay, so as I mentioned, those 4 areas are people and education, delivery and distribution, testing and measuring, and system technology. The one we're focusing on today is, and I'm going to get to in a bit, is delivery and distribution. But first, let's have a quick look at people and education. Okay, so effective and highly functional teams are a crucial element for any business's success. Okay, whether you have a small operation or a large company, the people who are doing the daily work can be leveraged to achieve higher results. Something as simple as having clear and concise job descriptions, conducting team training, communicating a mission, vision, and company culture, as well as values, helps people in the organization and find direction and purpose. Okay, now what I should say is there's a number of areas within each of these 4 headings. Okay, so with under people and education, there's actually 20 specific ways to affect change in this area. Okay, so if you email me, those people that are on the webinar now, if anybody's watching this on recording, email me and I'll be happy to email you each of the individual strategies that fit under each of these different headings. Okay, so developing a team and your leadership skills further can pay great dividends. Okay, so there's 6 areas that leaders need to continue to develop to ensure success. Okay, these leadership improvements dovetail directly into efforts and actions you want to take with your teams. Okay, so the first one of those is to build trust. The second one is to become relatable. The third one is to demonstrate empathy. The fourth one, show employees that they are valued. Okay. The next one, gain different perspectives. And the final one is enhance customer experiences. And again, that final one is what we're going to be focusing on today. Okay, so now is the time to establish new systems. The new normal will require you to change many processes within your business. Making sure your employees and teams have an updated roadmap is critical to your success. Okay, sweeping change without explanation or training will backfire and set you back further. So strike while the iron is hot and start making meaningful change. It may seem like a daunting task, but if you take it step by step, okay, if you take it with guidance and expertise, you'll find the journey much easier and avoid those obstacles that tend to be riddled along the way. So let's have a bit of a deeper look at the next thing. The next area is delivery and distribution. And this is the area I'm focusing on today. Okay, so it's about processes and systems within your organizations to do with delivery and distribution. After focusing on ways to develop your team and create an education strategy for your organization, it's time to turn your attention to delivery and distribution. Now, look, this isn't just for manufacturing companies, okay? We all deliver something. We deliver a service or we deliver a product. So ask yourself this question: how easy is it for your customers to get the products and services you offer? Okay. Many organizations have had to pivot to adapt to the new normal conditions brought upon by the global pandemic. A focus on supply mastery, quality of delivery, ease of purchase, and customer service is crucial for ongoing success. Okay. As businesses shift to virtual and online delivery and distribution methods, it's a perfect time to ask yourself some questions and to investigate opportunities to maximize your customer experience. Okay, so delivery mastery is all about delivering on time, on budget, to the right specification consistently with a solid customer experience. Okay, so how do you create, how do your business processes come together to create a consistent and excellent customer journey? Ask yourself this question. How do your business processes create that consistent and excellent customer journey? Okay, to make this easier to consider this. Now, I want you to write this all down. How would you rate yourself out of 10 on customer service? So just write a number in front of you. You don't need to share it, just write a number in front of you. 1 to 10, 10 being absolutely fantastic, 1 being rubbish. How would you rate yourself out of 10 on customer service? Okay, everybody got a number written down. Next question, how do you know? How do you know the number that you've written down is the right number? And what do you have in place to improve this? Or to ensure that your customers are getting the experience that you want? So if you're saying you're a 10 out of 10 for customer service, what do you have in place to ensure that? Good enough isn't. It's no longer to be good enough. Okay? You can't just be good. If you're poor, you'll be out of business. So good is what is expected by your clients. It's the norm. Okay? If you want to stand out against your competition, you have to be great. So, as mentioned, there are 4 primary phases to doing a great job for a customer. Okay, so the first one is getting the client. So it's the sales and marketing. The next level is serving the client. It's the order fulfillment. The next level is invoicing and collection. Okay, collecting payment from the client. Then it's about maintaining the relationship. Okay, maintaining the client. And if you do all of this right, it will result in referrals and repeat business. Okay, your client that you've satisfied with your service and delivery will refer you and they'll give you repeat business. Okay, so let's take a closer look at order fulfillment. Okay, there's 4 areas of order fulfillment. And I mentioned these earlier. The first one is supply mastery. Then it's quality mastery, easy to buy mastery, and service mastery. So again, what I'd like you to do is write down on your piece of paper in front of you a mark out of 10 for each one of those. What's your mark? What's your mark for supply mastery? How good are you at supplying what you say you're going to supply? Okay. How good are you at quality mastery? How good are you at making sure that you deliver the quality that your customers expect? How easy is it for your customers to buy? Score yourself out of 10. How easy is it for your customers to buy? And then finally, well, this will be the same score as it was before, your service mastery. Rate yourself on customer service. Okay, so if you've all done that, it's the same questions. How do you know? And what do you have in place to ensure this? So let's break down each one of those areas in slightly more detail. Okay, so first, dig deep into your supply capabilities. Okay, achieving supply mastery means that your organization understands and is able of answering some key questions. Okay, can your customer get what they pay for? Can they get it on time? can you make, buy or deliver the products and service with consistency? Okay. And consistency is the key word there. Are there any supply chain bottlenecks? What volume of sales increase can you handle? Okay, if you suddenly get loads of inquiries in, what can you handle before your systems start to fall apart and you can't deliver anymore, or you can't deliver on time? What changes do you have to make to deal with increases in demand? Okay. What are you doing to ensure you don't lose customers due to poor delivery? And are you creating a goal of consistency of delivery? Not only that, is that level of consistency and delivery measured and monitored? So again, how do you know that you've got that consistency of delivery? How's it measured? How's it monitored? Make sure that your delivery is in full, on time, in spec, all of the time. Okay, so let's just have a look at that. In full, on time, in spec. Now, the easy way of remembering this is if Otis, okay, the letters down the side. I'm going to come back to this later on, but you don't want to lose customers through bad delivery. Because if you lose customers through bad delivery, not only are you going to lose that customer, but that customer isn't going to refer you. They're not going to be a raving fan. If anything, they may even tell people about your poor delivery. Okay, so this is about, can they get it on time? Can they get it in full, on time, in spec, consistently? So the next level is quality, okay? Once you're confident that you have the systems, controls and measures in place to address supply issues, the next step is quality mastery. There's no way to get a customer back if you can't deliver what they buy to the standard that they expect. And the emphasis there is on that they expect. Okay, it's not about the standard that you expect, it's the standard that they expect. Okay, if you're offering a low quality product and service, that's absolutely fine, as long as that's what your customers expect. But if they're expecting a high quality level of service and what you offer is a low quality, that's a problem. People go to McDonald's and they don't expect a high quality of meal. But what they do expect is they've got expectations of what they are going to receive, the level of quality, the level of service. Okay, so make sure that your customer gets what they expect. Okay, so here, there's a different set of questions to help you find hidden gaps in your quality control. Okay, so these questions are you delivering your promise every time? Every delivery, regardless of conditions or external challenges? Okay, we can't blame it on other things or other people. We have to take responsibility and accountability for delivering what we say we're going to deliver when we say we're going to deliver it. Okay, ask yourself, where are you losing customers due to low quality? What areas do you deliver well? And in what areas do you struggle? Is there a common denominator? Are you monitoring and responding to customer complaints and feedback? Okay, where's that recorded? How quickly, what process do you have in place for responding to customers' complaints? Do you conduct mystery shops to inspect what your customers expect? And does your delivery meet the level of your customers' expectation? Okay, and if it doesn't, where's it falling down? In summary, make sure that your clients get what they pay for. Okay, and as you can see here, this is the definition of quality. The standard of something received as measured against the standard of something promised. That's the definition of quality. So next we're going to look at how easy it is for your customers to do business with you. Okay, so after your supply chain and quality control are addressed, you have to investigate how easy it is for your customers to do business with you from their point of view. Okay, too many companies make it too hard to buy from them. They place policy over service and make business practices overly complex. So there's some further questions here, okay, and these will help you to begin to examine the ease of doing business. So ask yourself, okay, is everything simple? Right through from the simple things right through to complex business policies. How can you make it simple for your customers? Have you ever heard this comment? I'm sorry, but that's our policy. Is your policy getting in the way of delivering what the customer expects when they expect it to the quality that they expect? Customers want easy to know about. They want easy to find, easy to see and know what you have, easy to pay, and easy to come back. So how easy are you to find? What's your online presence saying about your business, your products, and your services? What would entice a customer to buy? Is it clear what you offer and what options are available? It's easy for customers to pay, is it easy for customers to pay and complete transactions? And how easy or inviting is it for your customers to come back to you? What's your returns policy and your refund policy? How clear is that? And again, do you conduct customer feedback surveys, and what do you do with the feedback you receive? Are you applying common sense rules to your policies, or are they overly and unnecessarily complex? Now, the reason I'm laboring this point about customer feedback and customer services and how do you know that you offer a good quality of service? Because a lot of companies I speak to before I start coaching them will all rate themselves highly as customer service. And then when I ask them, how do you know? They don't do any customer surveys. They don't ask for feedback. They don't get testimonials. They just, because they haven't had any complaints, they think, oh, well, our customer service must be great. That's the worst thing ever. A complaint that you don't know about is the worst thing ever. I would rather have a complaint that I know about, that I can do something about. The worst thing ever is those customers that just don't come back to you. They don't complain. They just go somewhere else. Okay. So after this webinar, I'd like you to take some action and imagine your customer and come up with 3 ways you could add value through convenience. How can you make it easier for your customers to buy from you? So let's look at the 4th area. Okay, so once you feel confident that you're accessible, inviting and enticing to customers, you have to focus on service mastery. To really complete the delivery and distribution cycle, service is just so important. Service mastery starts with the basic customer service and leads you to a world where customers do your selling for you. Okay. Your delivery or service, your delivery of your service or products is so extraordinary, delighting and satisfying that customers market your brand for you. They become raving fans who spread the word about your business for you. Now, what I want to highlight here is there's a difference between an advocate and a raving fan. An advocate is somebody that comes to you and says, Simon, do you know an electrician? And I go, yeah, you want to speak to so-and-so. A raving fan is that I'm in the pub having a drink with some of my mates. They're not even interested they don't even need an electrician, but I'm telling them how excellent my electrician is, what a great service they gave me. That's a raving fan. Okay. So with a pair of fresh eyes, really examine your customer service from the point of view of the consumer and see where you stack up. Now, again, ask yourself these questions. Are your people trained properly and empowered to delight and care for your customers? How do they handle difficult customers and conflict? Are they adequately trained in de-escalation procedures? What are the basic standards of service you expect? How are they different from what your customer expects and are receiving? What special details or activities does your organisation do to delight your customers? Now, there's a great book here by Paddy Lund. Paddy Lund is, he used to be a dentist. Okay, now nobody wants to go to the dentist, but actually Paddy Lund made it such a good experience that people didn't mind going to the dentist. And the book's about critical non-essentials. Okay, those small little things that you can do to give that wow factor to your customers. Okay, what sets you apart from the competition in terms of customer service? What is your overall customer experience like from start to finish? What lasting impression do you make on your customers that has them coming back for more? Okay. Now look, you're probably sitting there thinking, yeah, it's all common sense. Absolutely, it is all common sense. But it's surprising how often we don't use common sense. We're so busy in our day-to-day lives that we miss those small little things that mean that the customer either isn't getting a great experience, or just by doing some small little things, they get an amazing experience, a great experience. Because remember what I said earlier, good enough isn't. It's not good enough just to be good. You've got to be great. Okay, so once you've gone through these 4 areas of supply mastery, quality mastery, easy to buy mastery, and service mastery, you can begin to identify gaps and opportunities to improve your delivery systems and distribution systems. Okay, so while it may feel like a huge task, breaking the project into sections and make the transformation of your business more attainable. Okay, and much of this, as I said, is a fresh set of eyes looking at how you do business. Okay, so once you've got the delivery and distribution in place, so now you've got the team performing and they're delivering at high level, with a stabilized distribution process, it's time to systemize the management of your business and leverage technology to move your business further. Okay, so the third focus on systemizing your organization and using tech to make it easy to implement. Okay, so processes and procedures are part of a larger system. And if you don't have the steps memorized and reinforced throughout your business, the system will break down. If your systems are missing critical impact and lack comprehension review, okay, the very foundation of your organization is on shaky ground. If all the measure, steps and knowledge is locked in your mind alone and isn't spread throughout your team, they wouldn't be able to run the systems that ultimately deliver at a high level to your customers. Okay, that means all the work that you did to ensure you have the right team and everything you did to ensure your delivery and distribution are improved will be wasted. Okay, because you don't have systems and technology in place, and if you do, it's all in your head. Okay, so technology can help systemize and simplify your processes. Okay, so there's loads of stuff out there these days that you can use, systems and technologies. Okay, there's customer relationship management systems, okay, to manage data. There's QuickBooks and Xero and Sage software to help you with financial reporting. And there's automated marketing deployment tools like Hootsuite to assist with reducing time and save your organization money. Okay, so think about all the things that you can do to systemize technology, so to use systems and technology in your business. Okay, now, as I said, it's no good in your head. Most business owners develop systems and processes over time and retain them in their head. For you to create a business that can run without you and is much more valuable, you need to get it out and document it so others can do it. So look, let's get a bit of involvement here. I've been talking for a long time. So type in the chat box why you think it's important to systemize delivery. Okay, type what the benefits might be in the chat box. Any ideas? Sets a base standard of what you want to achieve. Absolutely, Chanel, that's absolutely right. Great comment. Uniformity of service. Yeah, totally agree, Tony. Yeah. Consistency. Yeah, well done, Richard. Thank you. So all very important points. Yeah. Now look, these are some of the points that I've got down here. It makes your business become less reliant on you. You can go on holiday. You can take a day out of the business because it's all there. Systems and processes are in place that your team can follow. It's not in your head. It means your staff have a resource to refresh themselves, not just you. So it avoids those constant questions from your team. Oh, can you just help me with this? Or can I just ask the question on this? They can just look at the systems and processes that you've got in place. It means your trainees have the start of a training manual. Okay, so when you take new people, on board, what they can actually do is you can give them your training manual, you can give them your systems and processes, and you can say, well, have a look through that, and then let's talk about it. You can ask me any questions. So you don't have to spend ages, like days, weeks, training new people that are coming in because you've got it all written down in systems and processes. It means you have recorded methods and standards for performance management. Okay, so you know what's expected. It's what you were saying there about what consistency, uniformity of service sets the base standard, and it means your clients can experience consistency, and so can you. Okay, so consistency, as Richard said. Now, look, there's a very important another reason to do this. Okay, and McDonald's is a fantastic example. Yeah, having up-to-date systems, processes in place adds value to your business. Yeah, if ever you wanted to sell your business, if you've got systems and processes in place, it makes it more valuable. If the business can run without you, it's more valuable. Okay. And if you sell, they don't have to buy you as well. So what I mean by that is if all the systems and processes in your head, they'll say, yeah, okay, we'll buy your business, but you're going to have to stay with us for 2 years and they're going to lock you in. Now you may want that, but I would argue, do you want that as a definitive? Yes, you're happy to be locked in. Actually, or do you just want to sell your business and step away from it at some point in the future? Now, that may not be your ultimate gain, but again, if you've got systems and processes in place, it means that the business can run without you. And as it says here, franchises are really just great systems, recorded and trained, and they're worth millions. And that's why I've given the example of McDonald's up there. There's a great film called The Founder, which is about Ray Kroc. Is it Ray Crocker? I can't remember his surname, but he was the person that founded the systems and processes. Well, actually not. He didn't really found the systems and processes. That was the McDonald's brothers that came up with the systems and processes. What Ray Kroc did was actually turn that into a franchise, write down those systems and processes that could then be sold. Okay. So how easy is it with a system? So what we're going to do here is we're going to go back to what I showed you previously. This is what we started with. So I want you to do the same exercise again. Okay. This time I'm going to make it slightly easier for you. Okay, so again, you're going to find the sequence of numbers starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, in consecutive order. But this time, I'm going to give you a system to do it. You're going to go from the top left, then the top right, then the bottom left and the bottom right, and so on. Okay, so start on the top left, then on the top right, bottom left, bottom right. I'll give you even more of a clue. This is what I mean. Top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. So go through it like that. You've got 1 minute. See what number you can get to this time. Off you go. Right, okay, stop there. So, how do we get on this time? Type in the chat box how you did. 30, Jenny, well done. Anyone else? 32, thank you, Richard. Hey, Tony, didn't help you on this time, okay. Look, let me show you how this works. This is the system. It's broken down into quarters. So number 1 is in the top left, number 2 is the top right, number 3 is the bottom left, number 4 is the bottom right, okay? Then you start again. Number 5 is top left, number 6, top right, number 7, bottom left, number 8, bottom right. And it keeps going round all the way through, okay? So the thing here with the system is it makes it easier. You had exactly the same task, but I gave you a system to help you to do it. Okay, which then enabled you to progress further. Okay, so this is just a point to show you how important systems and processes are. Okay. Now, the final point in, once you've implemented your systematic processes and you've redefined your procedures on how do you know it's working? Yeah. If you're not testing and measuring, how will you know you're meeting your customer expectations? Okay. But the question is, but what should you be measuring and testing to continually make sure you're meeting your customers' expectations? So let's type some things in the chat box there. What What do you think you should be testing and measuring to make sure that you're meeting your customers' expectations? Any ideas? Give you a bit of time to type something in now. Response time. Thank you, Tony. Absolutely. How quick it's taken you to respond to the different stages in the process. You know, and response time could be a number of things. It could be, depends what industry you're in, but it could be how quickly it takes you to answer the phone. You know, how quickly it takes you to take their delivery, how quickly the response time for them to pay, the response time for making the delivery there. Really not sure, as hadn't thought about it, to be honest. Look, Richard, brilliant. That is exactly why I'm running these webinars. And that is why I've just put loads of questions in here to help you to think about the questions that you should be asking yourself to make sure that your customer is getting those experiences. Okay? Caroline's put in their marketing strategies. Absolutely. Testing and measuring what marketing strategies are working and what strategies aren't. Okay? Tony, give the answer to their task. Just explain that a bit more, Tony. Give the answer to their task.
Can I do it verbally?
Yeah, please do, Tony.
I had a stroke 6 years ago, so it's quite hard for me to use the keyboard.
Okay, no problem. No, please.
So what I'm trying to say there is we have engineering clients. Sorry, Simon, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. We have engineering clients, and they'll ask us to give them a solution.
Okay.
So we try to give them a solution in the same day if possible.
Fantastic. Okay, so you measure how and you've set yourself a target of a response time to get that solution back to them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. A good example. Thank you very much for clarifying that, Tony. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right. Thank you.
Okay. So look, and as Tony was sort of saying there, you know, he gave a great example of an engineering business and what was specific to them. Okay, what was important to them in terms of measuring their customer service. Okay, so it is very different for every type of industry. But these are some of the more sort of generic things to look at and ask yourself. Okay, if a system is or is not achieving that outcome. Okay, so firstly, what is the outcome? And how do you know whether that outcome is being achieved? So the first thing, as Tony said there, is setting yourself an outcome, getting back to the client within 24 hours. And then it's knowing, well, how are you measuring that that's done every time? And then looking back over a period of time, whether it's a week, a month, a year, how many times were you successful in actually achieving that? Okay, so these are all the things that need to be monitored. What measurement can be applied to prove it? Okay, so once you know what's going to be measured, then it's about how you're going to measure it. What are the components of such a final measurement? Because it might be more than one thing, and I'm going to explain that in a second. I'm going to give you an example of how this could work and what allows you to tactically respond quickly when you're not on track, ahead, or when you're behind. Okay, so this, what I mean by this point is making sure that if necessary, you can take quick reaction to remedy whatever's going wrong. Okay. You know, for instance, knowing what the critical drivers are behind that number. So if that number isn't actually isn't working, you know, you're looking at your dashboard of what's telling you what's working and what's not. You know what the drivers are behind that to test and measure. Now, one of the examples I always use on this is an example of British Airways. Now, I think I'm correct in saying, but you'll get the general gist of this, that British Airways, they've got an overall target for their business, okay, which is that that no plane should be on the ground for longer than 30 minutes. Okay, now there's a number of factors that contribute to that. How quickly they're loading and unloading the luggage, how quickly they're getting the passengers off the plane and passengers back on the plane, how quickly they are cleaning the plane, how quickly they're refueling it and doing their service checks, etc. So they know all the things underneath it that contribute to their overall goal. And they also, so they can then look at those and say, okay, well, which one isn't working? What one's meaning that we're not achieving our 30-minute target? Okay, so what we're talking about here is if you take a business with manufacturing or distribution activities as an example, okay, we can use the if Otis that I mentioned earlier: in full, on time, in spec. Okay, now in full, on time, in spec is awarded 100% when a delivery is complete, and 0% if only part of the order arrived. Okay, so it's not meeting the customer expectations. So let me go through that in a bit more detail. So firstly, let's look at in full. If, for instance, let's say 125 chocolate eclairs were ordered and 120 were delivered, the score is 0%. Because it wasn't delivered in full. It can only be 100% or 0%. If we look at on time is awarded 100% when a delivery is made as agreed with the customer. Otherwise, the score is 0%. So for example, if the customer wanted the delivery to be made in the morning and the product or service is delivered at 1 p.m, the score is 0%. Then if we look in spec, okay, so this is the quality measure. If the product or service meets the quality requirements of the customer, the score is 100%. Otherwise, it's 0%. So for a single order to score 100%, then all three elements must score 100%. Okay, now that should be measured over a period of time, such as a week or a month. So if, for example, there were 60 orders delivered in a week, of which only 40 met all three of the customer's expectations: in full, on time, in specification, then the weekly score is 67%. Now, to give you an idea, best practice companies achieve 97% or better. Okay, and remember, if the customer's expectations, it is the customer's expectations which are paramount. Okay, if the cause of non-performance for a delivery occurred further up the supply chain, okay, so it's not your fault, this is still recorded as 0% performance, because it can be influenced by the producer or service provider. Okay, even if it wasn't your fault, it's still 0%. Okay. So, any questions? Let's have any questions. I've gone through an awful lot today. Hopefully that's given you some ideas on on the things that you should be focusing on to make sure that your customers are kept happy. They get things on budget, on time, to their satisfaction consistently. And if you do that, then your customer base will grow. It will grow because you'll get repeat business and you'll get those customers referring business to you. Okay, so has anyone got any questions? Either type them in the question box, you can type them in the chat box, or unmute yourself and ask them verbally is absolutely fine. None from me. Chanel, thank you. Very interesting. Gives a lot to think about. Thank you. Look, that's what I want to do, Chanel. I want to give you those things to think about, to look at your business and ask yourself those really good questions. What can you do to improve your business? Okay. What else am I going to do today to be brilliant, to give brilliant customer service? Okay, so if there's no further questions, make sure that you're signed up for our next webinar, 5 ways to increase your business profits, which is on Wednesday, the 21st of July. Okay, again, starting at 1 p.m. You can register for that at hastings.actioncoach.co.uk/events. Now, also, I am offering complimentary coaching sessions. So if you'd like to book a complimentary coaching session with me, then go onto our website, hastings.actioncoach.co.uk, and book a meeting. Okay, please feel free to do that. Okay, well, look, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, look, the final thing that I would ask is for your feedback. Your feedback is valuable. Yeah, so please, if you liked this webinar, please tell me. If there's anything you didn't like about it, please tell me. You know, please put a review on Google Reviews so we can share it with other people and get as many business owners as possible to learn from these webinars. Okay, so I would really appreciate that if you can do that. And finally, thank you, and make good things happen. Thanks for joining, everyone. See you at the next webinar.